I've got this SC888 out here in one of my garage bays. So let's take a look and see what the dirt's like. And hopefully it's not too toxic, because it could be a number of years old. Not really too sure. Yep, that's in there all right. That's packed. Okay, so let's see if we can figure out a better way to empty that without the zipper. Wow, that's definitely a lot, isn't it? Okay, so let's take the bag off. Yeah, good luck with that. See, the bag release mechanism is jammed down here, so that isn't going to come off very easy at all. Well, isn't that fun? Back in a minute. All right, after a couple of minutes, I was finally able to get the bottom of the bag off. So this is so packed right here, this lever just really wouldn't move. Well, it moves now. All right, let's see how bad it is. Oh my. All right, time for the mask. Jeez. This is going to take a while. It's like a concrete block just came out of there. Jeez. Look at that. There. Look at that. Isn't that tremendous? Hey, even found a spring. Maybe I need that for something. I wonder if that's off another vacuum. Well, that's hilarious. We'll put that off to the side there. Yeesh. There's some treasures in there, I think. Wow. And there's a bag in here. Okay. Look at this. Wow, how about that? And we have a bag. Style F&G. And the bag has nothing in it. So it looks like this was probably, well, you would hope, hooked up, but there's nothing in it. So they didn't know how to hook it up properly. Oh boy, that's interesting. Yeesh. That's funny. Holy moly. So this looks like something else, some kind of shredded rubber belt. So let's vacuum up rubber belts. Amazing. Totally amazing. Okay. Well, there could be other stuff in there. I don't know if I'm going to bother with that a whole lot, but holy moly. Now let's see. what this looks like. Yeah. I don't know if I can really even open the zipper. What if there's something blocking that? So that zipper appears to be stuck at the moment. Probably have to fiddle with it, get it back and down and further. But anyway, jeez. Now that's a lot, to be sure. Look at that. Okay, well, I'll come back after I fiddle with the bag a bit more. Jeez. Okay, after fiddling with the bag, I managed to get the zipper unzipped. So it was a case of somebody tried to put the paper bag in, didn't understand how to run it, how to install it properly. And this is the result. You see how close I can get this to the camera. Let's get a good focus here. This is the result when you run, well, when you don't run a bag in a machine that's supposed to have a bag. So this will all come clean, but I mean, geez, what a mess. All right, now let's take a look at the underside of this machine, and I want to see if it even runs, because that's one thing I haven't tried yet. I have not seen if this actually runs at all. So here you go. Let's see what happens. Of course, the belt in there was just about ready to snap too. So it may indeed snap. But that's okay. I have an extra belt. Wow, motor sounds pretty good, frankly. Really does. That is not a bad sounding motor. Man, I don't think I'm going to have to do anything with the bearings on this thing. I figured for sure I was going to have to. Let's get a closer look here at the rusty brush roll. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, I found prices of these online. They're pretty cheap. I don't know, like $13, $14 or so. That's what it appears to be like anyway. But the motor, man, the motor is in good shape. So this just isn't that bad. It's rusty, it looks terrible. That's running. Yeah, the motor in this thing is A-OK. That's fantabulous. Of course, gotta clean that up. Yeesh. Last thing I'm going to show you before I go and start washing some of these parts in the tub is the fan. And look at those blades. They're pretty much like brand new. I'm not seeing nicks, chunks. Really, I can't say that I'm like seeing scratches or anything. So it survived. The motor and the fan, really good shape. Obviously we've got an awful lot of cleaning to do, but other than that, I don't know how many parts I'm actually going to have to buy. I think I can probably get that rust off with the wire wheel. Same thing with that. I mean, it's just really cosmetic. I still want to have it look good though. But just as there's a close look. That's what came out. And you can see how deep that trash can is. There might be other prizes or presents in there, but
So nobody was able to get the bag installed properly, and they ended up using it just with the outer bag. And it didn't kill the machine, but boy, it certainly made a mess. Everything else with this machine looks okay. Cord's in good shape. There's no nicks in it or anything. And see if we take a closer look here at the front. So that'll need to be shined up. It's amazing. How does this get rusty? That piece right in there, it's rust. It's like, well, I'll do what I can, but the next thing I'm going to have to do is start washing everything. Got myself a nice bucket of parts to go wash, and got the fan off. That was really stuck on. So you can see what that looks like. Probably hadn't been serviced in a very, very long time, if ever. But there's an old belt, and I have a new one. And there is some gasket material. It was from this guy right here, the fan housing. Yeah, it's gonna need some more gasket material. I found a nail in the bag. Gee, what a surprise. And the ubiquitous staples that people always tend to pick up in commercial environments. Definitely gonna have to go and dump some of this stuff into the tub and start scrubbing it. Let's get scrubbing. So the SC888 has been torn down as much as I'm going to need to tear it down. I have already cleaned and shined up the motor hood, and the bag obviously came out really nice. There's a small repair I'm going to need to do to the inner fill tube. So this one uses the F&G bags, it's not the shakeout. The rug plate down here, yeah, I'm going to get another one of those. Now, this side didn't actually come out too bad. That really wasn't too horrible. But I mean, this just looks terrible. It's functional, but it just looks awful. So definitely replacing that. The fan actually was fine. Not a chip in it. Good shape. The brush roll I wanted to call your attention to. Somehow I almost think that this is an aftermarket kind of setup, because I normally see the bristle backing being orange and then the bristles actually being blue. So unless the blue somehow is magically turned to black, this looks like it might be an aftermarket. You can rebuild these. Bearings in here is 608D, and as you can see on both sides, it has rubber caps, and guess what? You can pull those off without pulling the bearing out of this assembly, and you can rebuild those if you wanted to. This bar right here, this axle, was caked in rust. It literally was completely coated in rust. So just using aught, that is just plain zero, steel wool, clean that up, and then using plain steel wool. You saw what this beater bar looked like here. I think this is a Vibra Groomer 2, and yeah, it's a lot better. It's not as good as it could be, but you could continue to use a wire brush and then polish this and shine it back up again if you wanted to be cheap and not buy another one. So it's a pretty inexpensive part to repair. Let's see, what else? Well, I did go through and cleaned up the inside top of the motor. Oh, so the top motor bearing in this machine right here is also a 608D. I have not looked to see what the bottom motor bearing is. The top one's also a 608D. So this machine uses lots of 608Ds, rebuildable bearings if you wanted to. And this dial and nap button right here, I went ahead and re-greased it and cleaned everything up, so it actually works pretty well. So I've kind of started a little bit of the reassembly process, but the next video you're going to see is going to be me putting everything back together again, and then hopefully doing some tests. So stay tuned for more.